welcome to this bookshelf. I'm your Roshi and today I'm going to be doing Galaxy Zack's No Place Like Home. And the basic summary of this book, it's so when Zack and Drake and Zack's parents and his twin sisters, Kathy and Charlotte, they're going to Frozenia. They go solar, snowboarding, they fish in the invisible lake, but those fish tell them what sort of ice fort they can build. And so then Kathy and Charlotte, they both get disco fish, so then they create a disco snow fort. And then Drake gets a race car snow fort. And then the two people that made me, Jackson and Ava, they get maze forts. And so then, in the end, they end up joining together all the snow forts in the whole snow fort contest place, and then end up beginning to be the biggest snow fort in all of Frozenia. And so then, the funny thing in this book is that they're blue and fuzzy. The thing that I learned in this book is that without working together, nothing you can accomplish in life. Even with your classmates, even with your friends, even if you're in a group project and then you do it by yourself, they do something, even if it's just writing their name. So no matter what, you always have to work together, and there's always two ways. Galaxy Zack Science Fair Disaster. And so the basic summary of this book is Zack and his old friends Bert, Drake, Seth and Al, and a bunch of more people from all over the solar system are competing in a science fair. It doesn't turn into a disaster until near the end. So Zack is overwhelmed by all the choices. So then he finds this little blob of green stuff or any color. It can change color too. So what it is, basically, is he calls it the anything, but it's actually from a scientific lab and it's called a mimic. So it just snuck out of there. So then what Zack does is that he picks up the mimic when he's at the mall because he thinks it's something for his science project. And then what happens is, in the end, the mimic sees all those science projects and then just access all of them. But the really cool thing about a mimic is, pretend I have ball of slime in my hand. Don't be grossed out because it's the mimic. Or so, as Zack says, the anything. Put it here. Put the book next to it. It will resemble everything. What is inside. Everything. So that's how the scientists who found it on a different planet couldn't find where it was. Even though they searched the whole mall. Literally. And then, so it ends up, it could be like a banana peel, literally. So then the way that they take it away is by confusing it, because it's now a disaster and everything, basically. So then they use teamwork, friendship, and a lot of patience to fix this, and also a few projects. And my favorite part is when I hear about these things, these inventions that there was oxycum, a gum that helped you breathe underwater as you chewed it. The mini microjet, a tiny but powerful engine that could move a vehicle 1,000 times its size, and an owie stabilizer, a first aid invention that could heal a cut or a scrape immediately, and can make anything disappear. There's this project where they actually find out which type of plants can grow with music. I can never stop saying this, literally. There's a lava, and there's also a double thingy. I think it's called a doubler, and then where they can create a actual illusion of you on the other side of the room, and that thing can talk through your mind. Well, what I learned in here is that no matter what, you can never give up, because there will always be a way, and it's just waiting for you to find it. And if you don't find it, then you're not going to do the world a favor. If you're trying to change the world, then you can start by picking up your banana peel. That will save the world one day, literally. Galaxy Zack, ready, set, blast off. And the basic summary of this book is when Zack and his friends, Sally, Drake, and Seth, they go to the intergalactic stellar space race. That's a lot. So then there are 3 rounds. 3 rounds and 3 different planets. But the problem is they're losing because of their friendship problems. They keep on arguing between who gets the wheel and stuff like that. And worse, they start off in 5th place. Well, no, not in 5th place, like, what do you call it, 64th place, literally. Because they're like 700 people. So 64th place is like 4th place. And anyway, so then they're not doing bad, but then at the end, the wheels turn like crazy. Or in this case, the solar hydro boost speed. Anyway, so then after that, in the end, they find how to solve their problems and get back on that racetrack. And well, the thing that just caught my attention in this book is that when they showed a picture of Axri, the water planet, it's a planet made out of water with like 40 or so islands. Like, get it all around. Like the size of Earth. Can you imagine only 40 islands? And the Bahamas are 70 islands. Only 40? That's just too little. How am I supposed to even, like, each island, like, each person? Because that doesn't make any sense. But luckily, when they actually get onto Axri, the islands are, like, bigger than they thought. You know how, like, when you're far away from Earth, it seems so tiny? They, like, kind of do. And my favorite round was the last one. And it was so fun. And it was my favorite because what happened is that I like it because there are like so many different stars and so many different rules, and I like it in that way because like it's unexpected, and like the shooting stars can move and comets shoot out comets and you freeze, and then like the shooting star can move behind a comet, or the shooting star can go under you and the comet's behind it and you can't swerve or turn. It is so like unexpected. And I learned from this book a few things. Number 1, I learned some intergalactic stellar space race rules. They should change it. Like seriously, like an interstellar space race. I'm just gonna call it the space race because it's too long. Anyway, so then I learned some space race rules, and I also learned that friends are the best thing that you can ever ask them. Galaxy Zack, the prehistoric planet, and the basic summary of this book is when Zack is over the moon when he is allowed to join a mission with his dad to return a baby Prehistoric to its planet. A prehistoric planet, though. When they get there, Zack is overwhelmed. The place looks exactly like things he could only read in books. And believe me, I love books, and I think I've read every book in the library. Well, that's what I want to accomplish. I also want to finish reading 525 books this year in 2023. So then when Zack goes there, he is astonished, literally. It's only what he can read in books. So then they go and find the baby prehistoric's mom. And my favorite part in this book is in the beginning where the baby prehistoric just gets hurled out of space and lands like a meteor, and it's completely safe. Doesn't even get hurt, doesn't even scratch its wing. So I really like reading this book, and I would say that the basic lesson of this book is that so basically there are so many plants and animals that are about to go extinct or might already be extinct. So as humans, our job is that if we find even one more living thing of those, plants are living things, so they are basically living things. If we find any more of that species, we should try and preserve it and protect it for as long as we can so that the species keep going on forever. Galaxy Zack Space Camp. And basic summary of this book is when Zack goes to Slivion, and it's this planet. He goes there for summer camp, and he has lots of fun there. He thinks it's going to be fun, but then when some trouble stirs between his cabin mates, well, it's up to Zack to figure it all out and stop it from going crazy. So then, with Drake's help, he managed to get his cabin mates back to normal, and then they have lots of fun. And can you believe that people on the planet Slivion don't know what s'mores are? I really enjoyed reading this book, and the funny part of this book is when it shows a picture of Zack with a mountain pile of clothes because he needs to get ready to pack for his camp in summer camp. I learned from this book that if you pretend that to be something that you're not, then people are not going to get to know the real you. And who knows, people might even like it. So you should always be true to yourself and be the true you. And what's true about me is that I love to read books, but especially Harry Potter books. And my ultra dream is to get a Harry Potter book set that I can own myself. Galaxy Zack, Monsters in Space. A basic summary of this book is when Zack meets this new classmate named Al, and he's scared of him because he looks like a monster. But his mom explains that just because someone looks different doesn't mean that they are a monster or someone that should be bullied. So then Zack decides to become friends with him, and then he goes and meets Al's dad and mom, and goes to Al's home planet, Plexi, and there he has lots of fun and eats chocolate-covered noodle sandwiches, and that's the funny part, when he eats the chocolate-covered noodle sandwiches. I really enjoyed reading this book, and the basic lesson of this book is that you shouldn't judge someone by the way they look. And with that, I'll say goodbye and see you later.